A large amount of food is wasted globally. Everybody is aware of that. When it comes to actually getting the food through the process, through the supply chain and onto our tables, how much actual waste are we talking about?
Today, a third of all the food produced in the world is wasted. And this means in developed countries, so countries like the UK and the US, about 50% of this happens upstream. So, just to put this into perspective, managing food waste sustainably could result in the reduction of around 518 million tons of greenhouse gases globally, which is the equivalent of taking all the cars off the road in the European Union.
And your technology is hyperspectral imaging technology. How exactly does the technique work?
So it combines two different techniques: spectroscopy, which is the technique of understanding chemical information by looking at reflectance of light from a single point. So this is a really well-established chemical technique, has been around for about 60 years, but it combines this with computer vision. So that makes it much more suitable as an inline tool because you're able to give a more accurate reading. And it basically is just looking at reflectance of ordinary light, so halogen lamps, and from understanding the way that light reflects across hundreds of wavelengths or channels in a really specific way, we can determine the chemical constitution or composition of different food products, so ripeness or freshness or shelf life or tenderness or the presence of contaminants. But it's a totally non-destructive real-time technique, which is what makes it really valuable.
And so with the technology, how long does that process take in correctly classifying the quality of the food?
We specialize in developing systems to move at production grade speed, so 75 to 100 centimeters a second, for example. So all the classification happens in real time. You send a signal to the sorting machine or the sizing machine, and you're able to sort products based on their chemical composition. So if it's ripeness of avocados, you can sort them based on how far they should be distributed or what form they should take. If it's meat, you can sort them based on what the shelf life should be. The reason why this is valuable is that today in the food industry, people stand by the side of the conveyor belt, visually sorting products or testing 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 2,000 samples. As a result, there is a lot of variability, a lot of inconsistency, a lot of what is known as out of specification product, both at food service and retail. What this allows, this technology, is for the food system and the supply chain to be much more predictive. So you can understand the quality information of 100% of products passing through your supply chain at production grade speeds, make decisions in real time to improve yields, reduce waste, but also prevent product recalls, for example, by determining contaminants. It all happens in real time.
So we're talking real time. So I imagine the cost savings are quite large. What kind of cost savings can be realized?
One of the reasons why the food industry and agriculture has been slow to digitize is because it has much slimmer profit margins than other sectors, typically single figure profit margins, and it has generally been slower to adopt new technologies, is more conservative. So we have identified use cases where there is a very clear return on investment. So for example, by identifying plastic or non-magnetic contaminants, which is a particular challenge in the food industry, we can prevent a food company from having a product recall, which can cost anywhere from $2 million to $10 million or upwards. We can also help to reduce in-store waste by identifying the form that the product should take at the distribution center, so reducing waste by up to 25%. Distributors of produce can charge a premium of up to 30% for delivering more consistent quality. So those are some examples.
And so how do you see the widespread adoption of this technology? Because I imagine it's not just going to be suitable just within the food waste space or solving that food waste problem.
The sensor continues to drop in size and price, and we also have a partner that's developing a hyperspectral sensor for the smartphone. So we'll have access to an initial prototype of this next year, and we believe this will be available for consumers in the next few years. So when this point comes, you will be able to walk into a supermarket and take a photo of an avocado, know how many days it's ripe, go to a restaurant, take a picture of the fillet of fish you've ordered. If you think it's red snapper, 9 times out of 10, it's likely to be tilapia. So you'll be able to access this kind of objective information about food products and really expand human vision beyond our traditional just 3 color receptive cones, which is a really exciting shift in the way that we think about vision. In addition to that, there are many applications. So in theory, anything that reflects light can be assessed using hyperspectral imaging. So you can image the human retina and understand someone's predisposition to diabetes, or take an image of the skin and understand biochemical changes happening in the blood. So there are huge, exciting applications for technology, and every industry wants to acquire information non-invasively. So I think there will be some use cases we don't even know of yet.